Alright, so you guys have in front of you your assignment sheet and this lovely piece of paper. Your assignment sheet is for this unit, of course, and I'm going to look at choices. This is a pretty short unit. We're only learning 3 things within it, so your test is coming up relatively quick, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. So that's going to be in 2 weeks on a Wednesday. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This other piece of paper you got, this is a tool to help you prepare for the SOL. Remember, our SOL is May 26th, Thursday. So, have you guys ever used the JLab website before? Okay. So some of you have, some of you haven't. This website we call JLab has a lot of practice problems that are like the SOL. And so this assignment sheet here requires you to do 3 different quizzes. The first one is due next Tuesday, so you need to do this over the weekend. It's due next class, which is Tuesday, April 26th. Then you have a second quiz that's due May 2nd. Those are each 10-question quizzes. Then you need to do a 20-question quiz on Tuesday, May 10th. And then you're going to do a 40-question quiz for Monday, May 6th and May 16th. And this will count as a test grade. Okay? Now, the really cool thing about this is that you can take it as many times as you want. You can keep retaking it over and over and over again. Once you get the score that you want us to record in the gradebook, then send us that email. So if you take a quiz the first time and you fail it, take it again, and once you get the score that you want, then send us the email with that score. So if you follow the instructions for it, so you'll go through, and then at the end you can send a copy of the results both to yourself and to us. You'll just send a copy of the results to us. And make sure that you have your own copy of it, because if I don't get it in my email, it doesn't count. So if I don't get it, you need to have a copy of it to show me that you yourself have done it. Okay. So notice these dates, they've also been listed on your assignment sheet. I will also put this document on Blackboard so that you can access this website, because you can do it on your phone. If you don't have access to a computer, make sure you do it at school or come see me. I can grab a laptop for you to work on it while you're here at school, either after school, before school, or during study times. Okay. So these are 3 additional assignments. And then this 4th one, the 40-question quiz, is worth a test grade, a great way to help bring up your 4th quarter grade. Okay. Also, while we're talking about the SOL, we will be taking a practice SOL test in class, which will also be a test grade. But that's later. We first need to finish Unit 11 and then do statistics before we do. Okay. Questions on that? All right. We are going to go and start with notes. Let me grab that to pass it out to you. Alright, so today our first lesson is on solving quadratics by factoring. So what's really cool about this is it's just one more step than our factoring. So this topic really isn't that bad, because all we do is factor and then set each piece equal to 0. So it's just one more step from what we did before. So first of all, let's talk about a quadratic, what that means. A quadratic equation has a degree of 2. So when we deal with quadratic equations, this is what we were dealing with when we factored. They should be, when they're in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. Go ahead and write that at the top.
Thank you.
Alright, so you should have written at the top ax squared plus bx plus c. That is what our quadratic is in standard form. What does it mean when we say quadratic? What does that mean? So talk about the degree. Good, 2. It means a degree of 2. And that's what we have here. A degree of 2. Alright, the degree of an equation tells us how many answers there are, how many solutions, and we've briefly mentioned this before. So as we are solving these, you will see that all quadratics that have a degree of 2, all quadratics that have a degree of 2 are going to have 2 solutions. Now, you won't have this as much in our class as you will next year and the year after, But sometimes our two solutions is actually the same solution repeated. So the same solution twice. All right. So therefore, since we have a quadratic equation, there are two answers. Now this next piece is extremely important for you to understand. These answers are called solutions, x-intercepts, zeros, or roots.
That's like 24 answers.
Oh, 2.
What's that next?
That would be the G. Okay, so they're called solutions, x-intercepts, roots, and zeros. We will use these words interchangeably. What does that mean, interchangeably? Aubrey? We'll switch them out for each other. So sometimes you'll hear me say, find the solutions. I mean, you're also finding x-intercepts, zeros, or roots. Or I might say, find the roots. That's the same thing as finding your solutions. So we will use these 4 words interchangeably. Now, yes, all the time. A technicality, not all roots, zeros, and solutions are x-intercepts, but all x-intercepts are solutions, roots, and zeros. But you don't need to worry about that for now. Okay? And again, you're going to be doing this again next year and in Algebra 2, and they will also use those words interchangeably. So you need to understand that all 4 of these words for us. Okay. Now, the really cool thing about our solutions, our x-intercepts, our roots, and our zeros, is that when we substitute these into our equation, we get an answer of 0. So anytime we take a value and put it into our equation, if we get 0 in the end, then I know it is a 0, or a root, or an x-intercept, or a solution to our quadratic. Okay. I know we haven't done much, but questions so far? Alright, so first we're going to identify whether or not it's a 0. So, when we know it's a 0, remember, when we put it in, we should get 0 as our answer, if it truly is a 0. Okay, so let's check our first one, x equals 4. Okay, so we're going to take this and put it into my equation. So instead of f of x, I'm going to do f of 4, right? I'm replacing x with 4. We've done this a lot of times this year.
And is f of 4 f times 4? No. It's not multiplication. F of x is a fancy way of saying what? Y.
Yes,
It's just holding the place so it tells you what the x value is. Do not do the math with f and 4 being multiplied.
Well, Jason and Ellery. Alright, so you take 4 and you substitute this in for x. So instead of x squared, I have 2 times 4 squared. Make sure you put that in parentheses, because if it's a negative, we need to take care of that first. Alright, then we have minus 7 times what? 4. Very good, Adriana. Minus 4. So again, notice wherever there was an x before, I've replaced that with a 4. Minus 7 x. That's all. Other questions so far? And please do ask questions as we go through this. I don't want anyone to get lost. Alright, let's go ahead and evaluate this. Now would be a good time that if you need to trade for a calculator, raise your whatever it is that you're trading. Okay, what is 4 squared?
16.
Good, we're doing order of operations. PEMDAS. First, we need to take care of our parentheses. Next is our exponents. We just did our exponents. So now multiplication. What's 7 times 4? What's 7 times 4?
23.
Very good, Jason.
Wow.
Just rolling in with you.
Natalie, huh?
Okay, Jay.
Natalie.
All right, 2 times 16. Very good. Who said that? That was a good voice.
Kevin, do you need a calculator?
32 minus 28. minus 4. Alright. Now all we have left is addition subtraction. What's 32 minus 28?
4.
Beautiful. And 4 minus 4 is? 0. So is this a 0?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we put it in, it gave us 0, so yes. X equals 4 is a 0. So yes, x equals 4 is a 0.
I've never read that.
Alright, questions on this? Alright, so on to the next one. Let's do number 2 real quick. That one won't take long.
History buttons? Look at all of that.
Focus.
Do not leave without your items, especially those keys.
Okay, so now we're testing 0. How do I know if this is a 0? Gabby? Alright, so how do I know if this is a 0? Let's focus. How do I know if it's a 0? What should happen? What did we just do?
You have to plug it in.
What has to happen? Has to what? I still didn't hear you. Oh yeah, substitute it in for x. And what should happen if it is a 0? Should it? It should be 0. Good, it should be 0. So let's put it in for x. And if it equals 0, great. It's a 0. It's a root. It's a solution. It's an x-intercept. But if it doesn't equal 0, it's none of those. Alright. What's 0 squared?
0.
What's 2 times 0? What's negative 7 times 0? Negative 0, which is 0. So all we have left, negative 4. Does this equal 0?
No.
So is x equals 0 a 0?
No.
No! X equals 0 is not a 0. Remember, this is the same thing as it's not an x-intercept. It's not a root. It is not a solution. It is not any of these things for this equation. Okay. Let's go and do number 3. So we're going to check this. Substitute it in for x. I want to do this one because it has that negative. And I need to show you how important it is to have that negative. Alright, 2 times negative 1/2 quantity squared minus 7 times negative 1/2 minus 4. Let's save ourselves some time. Punch it in the calculator. Make sure you use parentheses for all of your negatives there. It will make a difference in your answer. So I want everyone to be putting this in their calculator. We need to work on our calculator entering skills. Some of us need to practice that for us.
You need to put some blue boxes in there. 2.
Alright, so we have 2 times parentheses negative 1/2 squared. Notice it's in parentheses. Drew, are you entering this in? Kevin, I want you entering this in. Brian, I want you entering this in. Rachel, have you entered it in yet? Jason, you don't even have the cover off yet? Come on! You're speedy.
Come on, Jason.
0?
Alright, minus 7 times parentheses negative 1 divided by 2. Minus 4. Did you put it in there? It doesn't. What do you? Your calculator's.
So,
Why don't you say something?
yeah, why don't you speak up?
What is the big,
No.
It does too. Work. It's right here.
what is the big key about putting fractions in the calculator, guys? Parentheses.
Parentheses. You must have parentheses.
You don't use parentheses. Majority of the time you will get it wrong and Ms. Margaret will smack you upside the head with the ruler.
I will not smack you upside the head with the ruler, but I will come along and make sure you put parentheses in. Are you putting parentheses in over? Good. Okay.
Okay,
When we hit enter, what do we get?
0.
0. Is that what you guys got? Philip, did you remember parentheses?
No, he didn't. Look.
I
He put
feel like
no
you remember
parentheses.
parentheses.
How do we put that down?
What'd you say?
How do we put it down? I know I see it on the phone, but it's kind of.
So I just type in 2 parentheses, -1 divided by 2 parentheses. Like I'm literally just typing the secret shot of right. But you must have parentheses, Philip. Because what happens when you don't have parentheses, Philip? What did you get? The wrong answer, right? You must have parentheses.
There are sometimes where you'll still get the right answer, but most of the time you're going to get the wrong answer, so don't do it.
Particularly when you have these squares.
Exactly.
Okay, so we got 0. So is this a 0?
Yeah.
Good. So yes. Did you use
No, let me
parentheses?
see. Let me see what you did wrong. No, let me see.
I got 0.
Let me see.
You forgot your squares.
Oh. Come on, man.
Alright, so yes, x equals -1/2 is a 0. Which means it's also an x-intercept. It is also a root. It is also a solution. Alright, questions on that?
Nope.
Gerard, are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Alright, since we've already done a million zeros, we're going to move on to the next piece. Okay, so we're actually going to learn 4 ways to solve quadratics. The most, I think probably the most commonly used one, and also one of the easier ones, is the one we're going to do today. So your 4 ways to solve quadratics is graphing, square roots, factoring, and completing the square. You're not going to learn completing the square until Algebra 2. Alright, so today we are solving quadratics by factoring. And again, like I said, this is awesome because you already know how to factor. We just did that last unit. So it's just one more step. In order to do this, we need to use a new property you probably haven't heard of before, the zero product property. Zero product property. Let's take a quick look at this. If I have 2x equals 0, what does x have to be?
0.
0. Why does x have to be 0?
Equals 0.
Yeah, anything times 0 equals 0. So 2 is not 0, so x must be 0, right? What about 2 times x plus 1 equals 0? What do you think x has to be there?
Not.
Close. -1. Because if I have -1 plus 1, what does that give me, Elroy? What's -1 plus 1? 0. And 2 times 0 is 0. So that's our zero product property. Our zero product property says that if we have a product, what does it mean when I say product? Multiplication. If I have a product multiplication that equals 0, then either A can be 0 or B can be 0. Or they both could be, but at least one of them needs to be 0, because then the whole thing's going to be 0. Alright, so if we multiply 2 things together and our answer is 0, then at least one of the factors must equal 0. What is a factor again? Multiplication. So 2 numbers that are multiplied together, those are each factors. A is a factor, B is a factor. 2 is a factor, x plus 1 is a factor. Remember what we just did last unit? What was that called? Factoring, we broke it down into its factors where it looks like this. This was a factor, this was a factor. So each of those could be 0. Okay. So what we do is once we get an equation down into its factored form, this is factored here because it's a quantity times another quantity. We take each piece. Gabby, are you with me? Please put down the calculator. We take each piece and set it equal to 0. So I take my first piece, x minus 3, and I set that equal to 0. Gabby, you should be writing this down. And I take my other piece, the parentheses, and do x plus 7 equals 0. Because they told us that each of the factors could be 0, right? So I'm taking my first factor, set it equal to 0. I'm taking my second factor, set it equal to 0. So now we solve. How do I solve for x here? What do I have to do? Beautiful. That was not you. Oh, right. That was not your voice. Add 3 to both sides, and we get x equals 3. Look, we already found one of our solutions. Slash roots, slash 0, slash x-intercept. Alright, what do we do over here? Good. Subtract 7 from both sides, and we get x equals -7. There's our other solution. Looky there. What? We just found our 2 answers. What? So watch. If we put this back into my equation, let's put 3 back in. What's 3 minus 3? And 0 times anything is 0. And if I put -7 back in, what's -7 plus 0? -7 plus 7. 0, and anything times 0 is 0. So these are our 2 answers. X equals 3 and x equals 7. Okay, now, am I done though? What do the instructions say? Very good, Aubrey. We have to put our answers in set notation. Ooh, it's been a while since we've done set notations.
Okay.
Who remembers? Who thinks they remember set notation?
Set builder notation.
I know.
Yeah, set builder, set
Yeah.
I know it.
What's the first thing, Aubrey?
You gotta raise your hand.
Good, little squiggle.
And an X.
Good,
That's
X.
a line.
The line.
That's an
And something
equals.
that.
X equals. Let's go smallest to largest. That is very good, Gabby. Well done. That is called such that.
Who said that?
Okay, let's go smallest to largest.
Smallest to largest, what would that be?
-7
Good. -7,
plus.
comma,
Oh,
3. Squiggle.
what we done?
Remember, negative is smaller. Bigger the negative, the smaller the number.
Alright, questions on that?
We did it.
Okay, I want you to do this next one, number 7. Do that one while I take a seat. Oh, good. Good to know. Hold on a second. Alright. When we set each of these equal to 0, what kind of numbers did we get? Fractions. Yeah, you're allowed to have fractions. Those can be solutions. So you should have gotten 4x equals 1, and then x equals 1/4. Did we get x equals 1/4? You said you didn't get that? Did anybody get 1/4?
Yes.
Okay, good. And then we should have gotten 3x equals -2. X equals -2/3. Yeah? Good. Alright, squiggle. Set builder notation. Ooh. Which? Good work. -2/3 comes first. How'd you even know the question I was about to ask?
Because you stopped writing it.
Okay, I was going to say you're like a mind reader, but sure. You use logic. Okay. Questions on this one? Alright, so again, these are called zeros. What else are they called? Roots. What else? Solutions and one more?
Zeros.
X-intercepts, good. So if I make you write down all 4 on a quiz, you can do it.
Yes.
I think you should just put them in the bottom. We should circle them.
And
Yeah.
is it just intercepts or specifically X-intercepts? Specific, not Pacific, but specific, yes.
Specifically, X-intercepts.
Do not make the mistake of just writing intercepts, because that's not correct.
All right. Next up, number 8. How many different factors do we have? Yeah, we have 3 factors now. So same thing, it's just we're going to have 3 solutions. See how there are 3 x's? 3 solutions. All right, so set each one equal to 0. Okay, what do I do for my first equation? Divide by? Good. And what do we get? What was the first thing you did? Good, 0. Alright, next one, subtract 8 from both sides. X equals negative 8. What do we do for that last one? We add 1, I think I heard you say. Good, we add 1 to both sides. Set all the papers up. Add 1 to both sides. And then we do what? Beautiful, Aubrey. X equals 1/2. Okay, time for set notation. Squiggle. X such that X equals. What comes first?
1/2.
Negative 8.
Negative 8. Negative 8.
And then 1/2.
And then 1/2. Oh wait, no, not 1/2 next. 0. Then 1/2.
How
Good.
do you know?
How do you know who
The
said that?
negative goes first.
How do you know what order they go in?
Least to greatest. So negatives, 0 positives. Alright, now let's take a look at number 9. There's something a little weird about it. Not that weird, but I want to make sure you don't get thrown off by it. Okay, so we see 3 different factors. But how many x's do I see? So we're actually just going to have only 2 solutions. But let's go and set each piece equal to 0 just to practice doing that. So negative 2 equals 0. X plus 5 equals 0. And x plus 7 equals 0. Okay. We should all have this written down. Now, here's the dilemma. Can negative 2 ever equal 0?
Oh.
No. So we just put a line there. It does not equal 0. There's no x there, so it's not going to give us a solution. It's a factor, but it's not going to give us an actual solution. There's no variable. All right. How about our next piece? What does that give us? Good. And our last one? Beautiful. So again, we see 2 x's. 2 factors contain x's, so there should be 2 solutions. All right, squiggle x such that. What number comes first here? Good. Good. All right, questions on that one? So not too bad so far, right? Okay. So we've been nice and we've been giving it to you in factored form, but let's move on to the next piece. What if it's not given to you in factored form? Guess what we have to do? No, you're not. We're leaving at 9:05, so you're stuck with me for another 20 minutes. Nice try.
Nah, I wanna leave it.
Yo, Freddie.
All right,
okay.
so it's not in factored form. What do you think we have to do first? Factor it. We have to factor it first. So again, this is just what you did last unit. We're going to factor, and then we set each piece equal to 0. Now, I want you all to be very careful with this. Notice it now has the equal 0, and it asks you to find the solutions. What I find is a lot of students, once we do this, think they have to do the solutions every single time. Now, read your directions. If it says find the solutions, then you actually get it down to x equals. If it just says factor and there's no equals in the beginning, you just factor it. You don't have to get x equals. Okay, so first things first. Set your equation equal to 0. For number 10, is our equation set equal to 0? Yes. Perfect. First steps are done. All right, next, factor. All right, so with factoring, our first thing we have to do is GCF. And Jason Velasco, what is my GCF for this? I agree with the 4. Anything else?
Negative 4x.
Good, negative, and there's an x. Negative 4x.
You can do it.
2, but we want the greatest one. Greatest one. Okay, so let's factor this out. Just like we did before. And again, if it helps you to write the negative 4x underneath each one, go ahead and do so. Alright, what do we get for our first term? Close. Good, positive. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is positive 1. X squared over x is positive x to the first. Alright, 48 divided by negative 4? Good. Negative 12. X over x just reduces to 1, right? So it's reduced. Okay, still have your equals 0. Make sure you have your equals 0. Make sure you have your equals 0. Make sure you have your equals 0. Do not lose your 0 as your factor. Okay, so now my next question for you. Can I break this down anymore? Is there an x squared there? No, there's no x squared. I can't break it down anymore. We've already gotten it in factored form. This is one of our short ones where we only had a GCF. Okay, so it's in factored form. So now what do? What's the step?
So each factor equals 0 and so on.
Yeah, so now we're where we were on those last problems. The last problems gave it to us like this. Well, now we've gotten it to the factored form. Now we set each one equal to 0. So negative 4x equals 0 by the 0 product property, and x minus 12 equals 0 by the 0 product property. Okay, now solve. What do we get for the first one? What's 0 divided by anything? 0. 0. What do we get for our next one? Good. Alright, last step. Write your answers in. Set notation. Squiggle x such that x equals what? 0 to 12. Okay. That's right. Questions on that?
Oh, yeah, no.
I need you sticking with me, not chit-chatting and not. Alright, number 11. First of all, is it set equal to 0? Perfect. So we want to make sure it's in standard form where it's ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Alright, GCF. Do we have GCF? No, it's just 1. Okay, so now we need to factor it. What do we notice is weird about this guy, though?
X squared.
Right, he doesn't have an x in the middle, so we write him plus 0x. So what do we have to multiply to get to? Good. And what do we have to add to get to? 0. Good. What two numbers achieve that for me, Kevin Granados? Thank you, Kevin Granados. You're up on the next one if I can keep over at bay here. Alright, so negative 4 and 4. Hey, do you think we can do the shortcut?
No. Oh, yeah, we can.
Yes, the leading coefficient's 1, so we can jump straight to our factored form. What is my shortcut? Tell me my factored form is. X minus 4, x Good. Don't forget your equals 0. You start off with an equals, you need to end with an equals. Alright, lowering, resist. Kevin, what do I do next? Do what? Well, we don't have to multiply. I mean, you could check to make sure you factored it right, but I'm going to let you know you factored it correctly. What do we do next to get to our final answer of x equals x equals?
X minus 4 equals 0, and then x plus 4 equals 0.
Very good, Kevin. X minus 4 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Good, we set each factor equal to 0. Okay, what do we get for our first answer?
4.
Second answer?
-4.
Beautiful. Set builder notation. Squiggle x such that x equals. Which one? Good. -4 and 4. Gabby, are you writing this down, my dear?
Yeah.
Good. Alright, questions on that one? Okay, so here we actually factored it. That's what you did last unit. And then just one more step. Set it equal to 0 and solve. Alright. Notice, what were the instructions here? What did it say? Find the... What's another word for solutions? Roots. Answers, yes. What else? X-intercepts. X-intercepts. And I can't remember which one we haven't said yet. Zeros. Yes. Thank you. Zeros. Okay. What do the next instructions say? Find the roots, which is the same thing. Find your zeros, find your roots, find your x-intercepts, find your solutions. So we're just doing the same thing here.
Don't trick yourself up.
Good morning.
All right, number 12. Is it in standard form?
Yeah.
Set equal to 0?
No.
It is. All right, so now let's check for GCF. Man, you're speeding, sir. GCF equals 2. Can we take out an x?
No.
No. Because 36 does not have an x. Alright, let's factor that out. X squared. So remember dividing each one by 2. -11x. Good. Plus 18. End of the row, so bracket equals 0. Alright, let's do our T-chart. What goes in my first column? Positive 18 multiplies to that and adds to -11. What could we do for this? Alright, good. 2 and 9, but what has to be true about both of those? Good, they both have to be negative. -2, -9 gives me -11 when I add it together. Hey, can we do the shortcut? Yes. Right now, after I factored out, we have the leading coefficient of uno, so we can do our shortcut. Right now, remember GCF comes along for the right, so don't forget to write them in front. Now, what's my shortcut, Jason Velasquez? But what? Tell me the whole thing.
X minus 9.
Good. Good. X minus 9, X minus 2, and you must have your. What's supposed to be on the end? Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Drew. What should be on the end? Jason! Equals 0. Don't lose your equals 0, and you lost your GCF in front. What are you doing, sir? Yeah, but it's not in your factor form.
Jason, what are you doing? Pay attention.
All right, that was close. Okay. Perfect. All right, so let's set each factor equal to 0. 2 equals 0. Oh, that can never happen. X minus 9 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. You with us?
No.
All right, what do we get?
I know.
Good. Set builder notation, squiggle, x such that x equals 2 to the 9. Alright, questions on that? Okay, finally, number 13. I've been waiting all day for this. Alright. Any questions before we start on this next one?
How do you do it?
Well, you're about to find out. Exact same way. Okay, is this in standard form set equal to 0?
Yeah.
No! So we have to set it equal to 0. So I need to move everything to one side and get it in this form. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That's what I need it to be. This guy right here has to always be in this form.
What form is that, guys?
Quadratic?
I've said it like 5 times this class.
No, it's not. Standard form.
Standard form.
Apparently, I'll reset it for paragraph. You guys want to do it.
Good. Okay, how do I get this to standard form? What do I need to do?
Minus.
Good. Add 2 because I need to have where it's set equal to 0. So I need to move my 2 over. Can I combine my 2 with anything on the left side? Are there any like terms with my 2? No. So I have 9x squared minus 9x plus 2 equals
0.
0. Alright,
Nice.
beautiful. Do I have a GCF?
You got one.
It's nothing other than good old 1.
Keep going.
T-chart time. Multiplies, good, 18, remember, first times last, and adds to what? Negative 9. What 2 numbers can do this?
Negative 6 and negative 3.
Good, negative 6, negative 3.
Another.
Multiplies to positive 18, adds to negative. Now, can I do the shortcut?
Yeah.
What's your leading coefficient?
Oh, yeah.
9. You better not do the shortcut, sir. You will get it wrong. So we have to factor it the good old-fashioned way. And so we have to first split up our middle term. Instead, we fire the middle guy, and we replace him with who? Good. Minus 6. And we still have our plus 2. And don't lose your equal 0. Alright, now we finally get a workout, we can do our exercise, and we box it up. Alright, first box. What can I factor out? I agree. Anything else? Okay. So if it helps you out, divide by 3x minus 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. X squared over x. That's good. Negative 6 divided by 3. And x over x, so it's just reduce. End of my box, end of my parentheses, always put a in factoring, Natalie?
Plus sign.
We finished our parentheses. Plus sign. Plus sign. Alright, next box. What can I factor out of here?
Negative.
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Good. You have to get out that negative. And if it helps you, write the divide by negative 1. Negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3. We still have our x. 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. End of my box, end of my parentheses. Don't lose your equal 0. Don't lose your equal 0. You with me?
Oh.
Okay. Are my insides the same? Well, yes, they are. That means we've done it correctly so far. So my insides come first. And what is left behind? Good, 3x minus 1. Don't lose your equal 0. Oh, look. It's in factored form now.
Yeah.
How nice nice is that?
Nice.
It wasn't even that bad of one. Okay, so now we have it in factored form. What can we do?
Equals and equals.
Very good, Drew. Set each one equal to 0. 3x
Yes,
minus
Jason, I
2
do.
equals 0.
I was gonna say.
3x minus 1 equals 0. And now we solve. Add 2 to both sides. I get 3x equals 2. Divide by 3. X is 2/3. Add 1 to both sides. I get 3x equals 1. Should be around this time.
I got it.
How do you do?
Divide by 3 on both sides, we get x equals 1/3. And last but not least, set builder notation. I'm going to do it sideways because I'm running out of room. X equals, or x such that x equals 1/3 and 2/3.
Awesome.
You can survive.
By the way, if you can't figure out which of those numbers is bigger, we should note that 1/3 is smaller than 2/3. But if they're different fractions, you can't tell by looking. Go to your calculator, put it in decimal, and then look at what's bigger. Make sure you write it as fractions.
Yep. Questions on that? Alright, we're going to pause there. I'm going to give you your homework. And what else do you have due next class other than just your homework?
J-Lab questions.
J-Lab questions. Your first J-Lab is due next class.
Wait, we actually have to do it? It's not optional? Yeah, you have to do it.
And we have
Forget that.
a mini quiz next class. Mini quiz. We're back to mini quizzes again.
I suggest you try to watch J-Lab tonight. And if you can't figure it out, you can come into school on Friday for a little bit, and one of us will help work you through it. Do not come in and